Rolling. And ladies and gentlemen, today we have Miss Tanvi Kishore on today's episode of Daily Trigger. And this is hashtag 24 for you people. So welcome, Tanvi.
Hi. Thank you for such a cute introduction, Amya.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, the introduction is yet to be done. And also the conversation is yet to be started. So yeah, how was the day, Tanvi?
My day today was pretty relaxed
Okay.
compared to a lot of days that I have. It was pretty chill.
Okay. So talking about Tanvi, she is an Indian actress. She has worked in Marathi films as well as some Konkan films, as well as Hindi TV series, ad campaigns. And also recently I got to know about her YouTube channel as well as a vlogging, which is mainly food vlogging, I guess, but she also does some travel vlogs and all. And yeah, recently you must be knowing that Karan Kishore was on the episode. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to this episode also.
Thank you so much. That's really sweet.
Yeah. So firstly, Tanvi, starting from your personal life, from what, as far as I've researched about you, you were actually born and brought up in Bahrain, and your schooling was done
So,
in Dubai, if I'm not wrong.
yeah, yeah. So I
So,
was born in Bahrain
mhm,
and I was brought up, like my schooling was done in Sharjah, which is an emirate in UAE, United Arab Emirates. And I use Dubai as a word, like when I have to tell people where I was,
mhm.
all my schooling was done, I usually say Dubai because people don't know of Sharjah that much, though it's just like it's not even as far as Mumbai is from Pune. It's pretty close, but it's just another Emirates.
Mhm. So, just I would like to know the point since when you actually start thinking about the act of pursuing acting as a career. So, was it in like school life when you were young a lot, like 15, 16, or like?
No. Okay, so honestly, if I have to be really honest, I never thought of becoming an actor, and I never wanted to become an actor to start off with. I actually wanted to become, say, like an artist in terms of like a painter or a writer or something artistic, but definitely not an actor. And I always had inclination towards writing poems and doing a lot of sketching. In fact, I had a very steady hand. So
Mhm.
there were talks in my family that I should actually opt for being a surgeon because that is one quality that one needs to have, like good craftsmanship and stuff like that, if to put it in like layman words. But yeah, so that was something that used to interest me. Biology was something that used to interest me. Now, honestly, there was a big shift in culture when I finished my schooling and came to Pune for college.
Okay.
And though I was like all the time, I mean, I was growing up in UAE, I was growing up in an Arab country, but I had this inclination towards India and Maharashtra to be specific. I always used to be drawn to people speaking Marathi, people doing Marathi things, Puran Pori, or
Okay.
all those kind of things. So
Yeah.
my dad, in fact, when I finished my 10th grade, he gave
Mhm.
me an option that you could go to, because back then it was like good options were Canada or the UK for college.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I actually want to go to India. And all my cousins back in India were like, are you mad? Like, we are hunting for opportunities to like leave the country and leave Pune and Mumbai, and you are like coming all the way here from there.
Yeah.
But but I don't know what it was. I was very clear that I wanted to stay in India. In fact, when I was traveling, I remember this one incident. Okay, so
Oh,
I used to travel from the world's best, like third ranked airport, that was the Dubai International Airport, which was like so posh, so luxurious. It was like a monument in its own, which people would be like, oh, we want to see Dubai airport kind of a thing back in the day.
yeah.
But I would still be more excited to come to Mumbai airport when there would be like crows and sparrows on the immigration. There would be like dogs outside the airport, where they would, like, when you go to the public toilet, they would ask you for like 1 rupee and 50 paisa, because we would have 50 paisa also then when I was like really small. So, and that used to be like really cool for me. I used to be like, yes, you know, people are speaking Marathi. There are crows and sparrows, which I can't see. There's a, you know, and then I used to be like, I am back to my hood. So that's why I opted. And I came to Pune, and the cultural shift that I was talking about. So in UAE, we are like very much guarded. You know, though people say, or they perceive that kids who are doing their schooling outside India are very broad-minded, are very forward. You know, they are more of free birds, and you know, they have a lot of freedom and all of that. It's actually not like that, especially because I was in a Muslim country. We used to have like girls school separate, like the morning shift, boys school in the evening shift. So our interaction with boys also was not that much. And then India for me was like so free. Like, I remember when I joined the classes, I took up science. I had scored really well in the CBSE board, and I got admitted in Ferguson College in Pune, which was the best college for science. And when I used to go to the classes, I used to wear like my normal clothes, which were normal clothes in Dubai, which were like cute clothes, you know, maybe shorts and t-shirts and a matching scrunchie and all of that. And the girls would like start instantly like, oh, she dresses up and comes for class in the morning at 7 o'clock. She does makeup and she comes and all of that. So I started getting attention, good or bad ways, whatever, both ways I started getting attention. And that came to notice. I mean, like my teachers and everybody started noticing those things even in college. And then I was like pushed for these college events. You know, like right when I entered Pune, I was pushed for the intercollegiate fashion show, dance competitions and all of that. And there was one competition, which was a very prestigious competition, intercollegiate. And that was like, you know, almost 200 colleges, like the smallest college, the private college, the public college, all the other colleges were there participating. And I was the best model of that whole competition, and then I became the youth icon. So I got the trophy for being the youth icon and an all-rounder sort of a thing. So that I took that prestige back to my college, and I took that prestige back to home. And my cousins were like, you know, so excited, and they were like, my sister is like the youth icon, you know, she's like this and she's like that. So then when this happened, one of my cousins who stays in Mumbai happens to be like the best friend of Chirag Patil, actor Chirag Patil, who's cricketer Sandeep Patil's son. And Chirag had signed a film, and they were looking out for the leading lady, who is cute because it was a campus comedy film produced by Smita Thakre. It was her first Marathi film. And they were looking out for a girl who is like, you know, really fresh and, you know, really cute and stuff like that. And I came in like naturally with that character. So my sister suggested my name to him. And then, you know, he was like, and back then we didn't have, we had BlackBerry. You know, I remember, BlackBerry was there. So she was like, you know, you just try it out. And I didn't have great photographs. Like I had those normal photographs, which, you know, were used for print or for my college magazine. All of that. So then I just sent those pictures, and I was plump. Okay, I was not fat, but I was like a little cute golu, you know. So I sent those pictures, and maybe they didn't like it. Okay, so then I was like, I sent those pictures and I forgot about it. But my mom is actually the one who was always very interested in this whole entertainment industry. So she would ask me, did anybody call, you know, you sent your photos for the film and all of that? And I said, no. And one day she sat me down and she's like, you call her by yourself, you call him. Then he gave the assistant director's number. Then I called the assistant director. उन्होंने मुझ पे तरस खा के बोला, okay, come for audition. Because maybe my photographs were not that great, so they thought that no. But they called me for the audition, and then till that point, Amir, I would not like Mumbai, because for me, Mumbai used to be the airport. Airport
Mhm.
says directly Pune.
Mhm.
So it used to, and we used to come in the monsoons, because our summer vacations would be like commencing June and ending like September, around
September.
when Ganpati is. So
Yeah.
we would always spend our vacations during the monsoon. So for my memory of Mumbai Pune was like barish ho rahi hai jor jor se, you get into the car and your relative is coming to pick you up and you rush and you land in Pune.
Mhm.
So then for the audition, I had to come to Mumbai, and then my Masi was like, okay, you come over,
Yeah.
and then we'll take my car and the chauffeur and we'll go for your audition. I was like, okay. Then I had taken a Metrolink bus. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I took the bus and I went there, and my maushi was like, okay, so this is audition and all of that. Until then, of course, because I had not done films, right? So
Mhm.
I did not know this was audition process and all of that. So I was like, okay, chalo, jate hain. And my audition was in this building called Dallas Building, which is
Okay.
in Kalanagar. If people know Mumbai, like Kalanagar is where Balasaheb Thackeray's bungalow,
Mhm.
Matoshri bungalow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is there, and that's a landmark. So it's like Matoshri bungalow, Balasaheb Thackeray's bungalow, and that building is right there.
Mhm.
Now, of course, because it was Rahul Thackeray who was directing it, and because it was Smita Thackeray who was producing it, they had their office right there in that building. And me and my mom, when I told my maushi that this is the venue for the audition, she's like, "Oh my God, do you know Balasaheb Thackeray stays there?" And this girl coming from Dubai who doesn't know anything about Shiv Sena
Yeah. Yeah.
or Balasaheb Thackeray, anybody is like, okay, okay,
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
and then
Yeah.
she's like, we are going to be that close. Then we go there and she sees Smita Thackeray. She's like, do you know who this is? So, these kind of events happened. And for me, it was like, I've never been starstruck in my life. I still am not. I'm never starstruck. I'm not struck by anybody, except if there are people who really like impress me, who I really like admire, then I will be in awe. But otherwise, I've never been starstruck. Now I go there, my audition, they give me a script, they give me a scene, and they're like, okay, this is what you have to do. Now, never in my life, I have done like one act plays in school and, written skits and all of that. But, like really performing to bag a role was something new for me, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, Maushi, and that too, it was in Marathi, like the Lipi, it was
Okay.
in
Yeah.
Devanagari.
Yeah. Mhm.
Then my maushi is reading it out to me, and she's enacting. Okay, she's like, do like this and all. And the character that they've given me now was of this tomboy, and
Okay.
who is like very brash, uses like filthy language, and she's like
Mhm.
this don. In colleges you have this one lady don kind of a
Yeah. Yeah.
character, which was nowhere close to me, because I mean, maybe now I can, but back then for me, in Marathi, what you call shivya vagare was
Uh-huh.
like, you know,
First try होता
giving
था.
like bad words and all, was like not something that I did. So
Mhm.
then I still did it, okay, like the way my maushi told me. And then I was like, okay, this is not working out. I look like super fake. But somehow the team thought that I should be going for the other character, which was called Anuya, which was
Okay.
going to be initially played by Sonali Kulkarni, the junior Sonali Kulkarni,
Mhm.
the Marathi actress Sonali Kulkarni.
Yeah.
She was finalized for the role. And then they like, just try this scene out. And I did it. And they're like, okay, now you sit outside. We sit outside, and the production manager comes in like 20 minutes. And he's like, okay, how much will you charge for the film? Like, how much will you quote? And firstly, giving an audition was a new process for me. And I didn't know anything about how much you charge for shooting for a film.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, so this is like one day shoot, which I had done like chota mota shoots in Pune for endorsing some brands and all. I was like, I charge like, 5,000 rupees. So how many days is it going to be and all of that? So then we
Yeah.
haggled and all. And they're like, okay, we'll call you. And I forgot about it again. I'm coming, chilling, and all of that. 2 days after this, I get a call that we're shooting from the 15th of May. And I was like, shooting like for the film? And they're like, yeah. And that was like the first time I faced the camera, and that was very accidental. So that's how it just happened.
Okay. I mean, firstly, it's just the start, and I'm actually kind of relating it with you. Because was it like Ferguson College? Was it for your junior college or like senior college?
No, it was junior college.
Okay, so like we can have a fist bump because I was also from Ferguson College only.
Hey.
Yeah. And the second thing which you said was like even when I completed my 10th grade, so I was like living in Wagoli, and like
Hmm.
Wagoli is too far from the city, like which is FC Road obviously. So when I started
Hmm.
going to the junior college, and the first thing which was like when I was in school, people used to call me like Amay, okay, because they don't know I am actually Marathi, I'm an Maharashtrian. And then when I
Ha
went to
ha ha
school,
ha.
then I started meeting people, and then girls used to see me like, hey Amay, Aikna. And then that moment was like, okay, Amay. I mean, finally somebody's calling
Yeah.
me, because other than my
Ameya.
mom, nobody knows that.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was the moment. Because, and yeah, talking about Ferguson College, actually it's like full rich of culture and events and
Yeah.
participation.
Man, you become a different personality when you go to Ferguson College because it's so free. And, I mean, I believe that there are places, or the structures, infrastructures of a lot of places can make you in your building years. Of course, I'm not talking when you're much older, but when you're
Mhm.
young and you are associated to some kind of an infrastructure, it does impact you. And the infrastructure that Ferguson College has, those the buildings made out of rock, and
Yeah.
the whole garden area and all of that, and the whole vibe of the place, right? It makes you feel very confident. And at that age, if you're exposed to something like that,
Mhm.
it just stays with you all your life.
Yeah, exactly. And the point, like where you said that you won that contest which was held among the Pune, the all of the colleges that took place. So you were like claimed as a youth icon there. So
Yeah.
yeah, and one like thing about you, as you told me that you got the role of Anuya, but then I wanted to know, when did the Rada Rocks movie happen? Like I got to know about it, and
Yeah, this was Rada Rocks.
actually this was only Rada Rocks. Okay,
Yeah, this is my
and
first film.
yeah, because I would like to talk about is because where you won the Youth Icon Award, and Rada Rocks was similar to like the whole Youth Icon in the Marathi industry. Like it was just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
start, and then
Yeah,
again,
yeah, 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 yeah. It
yeah,
was.
and it was like also then talking about your other movies which I saw. So Bhatukli it may be. So it like there you have a role of cute and loving girl, and then again the other movies like
Yeah,
Bikers Adda where you have a very dashing role, so you can say.
yeah.
So yeah, and which I would like to know is after that you also played many like a web series or some other ad campaigns. So I would like to know
Hmm.
the work difference, what it has. Like people do films differently now, OTTs differently. So what's the work difference like? Would like to tell? Like what is the actual difference?
See, there is a lot of difference with all these mediums. So if I have to particularly talk about films,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's I think the most critical medium of all. I mean, of course, OTT also is now because it's just emerging. So they are super planned and all of that. But the major difference is that films are extremely planned. Television is not planned. So television, it could be like, I am ready with my hair and makeup and I'm sitting on the location. The camera is going to roll and there's a printout coming out. I get a printout for what dialogue I have to say, what the
Yeah.
scene is. It could
Yeah.
be that. What do you call, lenient. So, there are script writers who are working on the daily soaps, and you write the screen, and then you're like, acha, the creative team is like, abhi ye difference डालना है, abhi isko na ऐसे twist करना है, ये कैरेक्टर को ज्यादा सीन्स में लाना है, टीआरपी इस पॉइंट पे ज्यादा आ रहा है. So those are different calculations.
Okay.
Wherein the film is something which is a super long process.
Mm-hmm.
It could be casting, it could be writing, it could be the recce, like the places that you curate for shooting your film, because film is just made once, it's not happening daily. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, I always feel that I always kind of get ticked off when people take films very lightly, because it's not just one person doing it. It's a team of a minimum 72 people who are shooting
Exactly.
on a film set. Minimum. Huh? It
Yeah.
is always, depending on the film, it's more than 72. But be it like from the chai walas, spot dadas, to the makeup artist, to the hairstylist, to the assistants of the lightmen,
Mhm.
Not just the lightmen, but the assistants of the lightmen, the delivery guys, the acharis, the everything, So
Yeah.
there is everybody gets the briefing of what the film is going to be, what the character is going to be. The art director has to be so on point, because if the art direction goes wrong, the feel of the scene is going to go wrong. So all these things take time, and
Mhm.
film, what you watch of a 2 hours or maybe a 3 hours, is something that is the end product, but there are maybe years gone behind that, and a minimum, I would say, a 7 months, including the pre, post, and the shoot for a Marathi.
Okay.
So the work ethic is very different, because you don't have chances. In daily soaps, if I feel that, oh, I didn't perform well today, I'm going to do a great scene tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm going to kill it tomorrow. So, people are like, oh, wow, But you don't do that in a film.
Yeah.
Similarly, a producer or a director is not going to get a second chance. Thirdly, you are putting it out where people are going to pay specifically to watch you.
Mhm.
You are not just running on the screen where you can switch to the other channel.
Yeah.
It's not that light. It is
Right.
like you're promising something and you have to give it. So there's a lot of discipline in the
Mhm.
medium of films and OTT, but for television, it could still be a little lenient.
Mhm. So like we can say professionalism varies when it talk about films and serials.
Yeah, and it's, see, rightly so, because what happens is, see, people make choices. As actors, you make a choice, you want to be a film actor or you want to be a daily soap actor.
Okay.
And just as how the choice is, you
Mhm.
have choices of what kind of discipline you're going to follow and what is your priority. There are
Mhm.
people who are very clear that I want to do good scripts, and
Yeah.
you want to stick to films. It's a very tough choice to make. But at the same time, if you're somebody who is very clear, I want to earn money, this is my shelf life, I'm an actor, and I have to get done with this. It's like
Mhm.
a job. You
Yeah.
have to report on the set every day. You don't get much time for working on your character, and you have
Yeah.
to keep rolling every day. Yeah.
Mhm. So, and actually turning back to Radha Rocks was the cast was so powerful. Like not only the Marathi actors, those who were really superior, but also about Bollywood cameos that I got to know. So
Yeah.
how was the experience? Like, do you have any anecdotes that you can recall? How was it?
So honestly, Amir, what happened was, firstly, because I'm not starstruck, it didn't like really this thing like matter to me that
Mhm.
who's coming on set or who's going. And also being in Dubai, DSF was a time where every Bollywood guy, from a Shah Rukh Khan to a Hrithik Roshan to a Shahid Kapoor, Kareena Kapoor, all the time we would see them.
Okay.
So for me, it was not a very big moment, but maybe to share the screen, definitely it was. But
Mhm.
for now, I mean, if I think of it right now, I don't really like recall that, I was nervous or anything, because as I said, unless you know the thing in depth, you don't
Yeah.
even understand the seriousness.
Mhm.
Today, if I had to do that, I would be like, okay, I have to be prepared because I'm more
Uh,
mature,
yeah.
and but I was like, okay, this is the scene. Okay, these guys are also there. So there was Juhi Chawla, there was Sunil Shetty, there was Anu Malik, and Rajpal Yadav, who was majorly in the film, who was like playing the
Yeah.
college
Yeah.
student.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun, and I think also this whole thing was pretty much diluted for me. This whole feeling, because we met Bala Thackeray,
Mm.
who is like the god of everything.
Exactly.
Like people are like, you met Bala Thackeray, like you were sharing space, and you
Mhm.
spent so much time, like the whole day with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was pretty chill and I was just having fun.
I mean, like till now, like till date, I mean, with experience, I must like it. I might be sure, like now, by now, you might be actually recognizing them because now, even if you get the chance to share with them, then like it might be a different scenario now.
Yeah. Very different, very different. Because as I said, because I'm more mature now.
Mm.
So tomorrow, now when I have to do, because I just told you that the seriousness of a film, that I spoke to you. I gave this whole spiel to you, it's like
Yeah.
so many people working on set, and this is what happens, and this is the minimum cost is like, few lakhs that is spent on the job every day on the film set and all of that.
Mhm.
This knowledge I got as I was doing it. I didn't have this knowledge when I was shooting for my first film.
Right.
So that today, if I don't report on time, if
Mhm.
I'm getting late to the set by 1 hour, I am killing time, 1 hour of 72 people
Right.
minimum. Also,
Right.
I'm adding to the cost, not
Mhm.
my artist cost, what they are going to pay me. I'm adding cost to them.
Mhm.
So these things, technical things and all, I learned on the job. And
Mhm.
today I will definitely be, now after consuming so much also, I'll be like, I have to give my best shot. I have to be very particular. How I'm going to deliver this line? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that?
Mhm.
ऐसे and all, yeah.
अच्छा, एंड एक्चुअली ये मूवी से पहले लाइक जस्ट द कॉन्टेस्ट, बट उसके पहले लाइक डिड यू डू सम शॉर्ट फिल्म्स और लाइक शॉर्ट कैंपेन्स? बिकॉज आई वांट टू नो व्हाट वाज द इनिशियल पिलर, बिकॉज उसके बाद में लाइक यू, आई डोंट नो इफ इट एक्चुअली वाज.
Yeah.
या.
Okay, I'll tell you. So initial pillar, I never had like a pillar. See, I'm basically by nature, I'm a person who is like, I'm like super passionate of what I do, but at the same time, I am very flexible as a person and I adapt very easily. So I have never had this goal कि मुझे ये करना है और इसमें ही mastery करनी है. But at the same time, if I was doing something, I was super great at it and I gave my 100%. Now, talking about the pillar, what happened is my mom and my dad were always very supportive, and they always believed in building the character of a person, their own child. They always gave, in fact, I would say they never gave themselves so much attention as much they gave attention to observing us, like what I would be interested in, what my brother would be interested in. And then if they identified something, they would want to, polish our skills, would want to provide us with the best things in infrastructure and, all sorts of tuitions or anything to develop that skill set. With me, what they must have observed is that I was a very confident person right from my childhood. I was, no, actually not right from the childhood. I used to be shy for a fancy dress competition in junior class when I was maybe 6 years old. Okay. But then when I was in the second grade and third grade and all of that, I would be somebody who would be shameless. If I want to do something, if I want to go up to somebody and ask, I wouldn't care if it's the prime minister. I would just go. I would be like, okay, listen, at the most what, they'll be like, okay, you can't talk to him right now. Fine, but if I can do it, I just want to go there and do it. So this is something that they had seen, and which definitely is the skill set that you require for being in the entertainment industry. Like the first thing, you need to be confident in your own skin. So they did try to push me, but back there we didn't have many options, but I did like chotu motu campaigns as a kid. I would go for road shows. I would go for these pageants, teenager pageants and all of that. And because I was Golu Polu, I didn't crack the pageant, but I would get opportunities to like showcase my skills when it came to talking to people, or my communication skills and all of that. So that's where it actually started. And then I knew that even if I'm not doing science, even if I'm not becoming a surgeon, I would want a part of my job to be about talking and communicating, because that is my skill and that is something I enjoy. So I should be making this a part of my career.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I highly agree over that point. So yeah, and also one thing, other than Marathi movies, you also did some couple of Malayalam movies or Konkan movies. So that makes obvious that you might be knowing more than 3-4 languages.
Yeah. What happened was, I just realized this. In fact, again, my parents, I everything that I am today, for whatever good, bad I am today, it's all because of my parents. And especially like my dad was like super active. He's always been someone who, I get this whole be yourself and be this confident person from my dad. Actually, he was always this kind of a person. So he had realized this again, that I'm very good with languages, because we would have Arabic compulsory in school till the 10th grade. And I used to score like full marks
Okay.
in Arabic, wherein my brother used to flunk in Arabic.
Okay.
So I think it started there, where they started realizing that this little woman, is like good with languages. And I took advantage of it. I used to feel really good about myself, and I would tell them I could read this, and I would like read random titles written in Arabic and Urdu and all of that. And then I took up German again, something that my dad told me I should be doing. I studied German, I got fluent in it. And any place I go, it's a matter of a week. If people around me are speaking in a particular language, I kind of start understanding that. And that's how I just did my films also, in Malayalam and Tamil. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Because
Konkani.
the point was, I wanted to have this point since like many episodes, but since you are multilingual, like how many languages do you know?
I know Hindi, English, Marathi, Arabic, Urdu, basics of French, German very fluently, Malayalam I can understand, Tamil, and Konkani.
Okay, I mean, like there are 7, 8 languages we can say. So
Yeah.
and Arabic, is it actually hard? Like I guess it's hard to learn. Actually, even I'm learning Japanese as for my professional purpose. So if even like, did you learn?
Ah.
So did you learn German for like your future career, or was it like just for the hobby?
No, actually, it was not. It was just because my dad told me. And German, I used to like how Max Muller Bhavan looked for it.
Yeah. I mean,
It had this fancy canteen. I just want to be very honest. I did enjoy that whole time, because you would get to meet people from, like, different walks of life. I had like a few married women in my class. I
yeah.
had a very elderly uncle in my class. I had some students with me and all of that. And I think if you're talking about the goal point of it, because I did my graduation and bachelor's in foreign trade. That's like foreign trade. I mean, that's again like foreign, like if you have to do work in some company which is related to international business and all of that, it's always a good thing to have a good foreign language in your kitty.
Okay.
That was maybe the purpose. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it. Because I wanted to share that vibe behind learning a language. Because after that, even honestly speaking, my Marathi is a little bit like I'm getting stuck at sometimes, because the grammar is different when you learn a new language. And then again, memorize some vocabulary. So I just thought I could reconnect with you at that point.
Yeah, it's actually very easy, Amir. You should consider German also after you're done with Japanese, because the grammar is like super simplified. It's not as critical as French. And even when it comes to vocabulary, I don't know if it makes sense when I say this, but there are, after a point, you get that, after you speak a particular language, you get a feeling in your mouth. So it's like how you speak Marathi, you get a different feeling. You speak English, you get a different feeling. German ke baad, you get that Marathi feeling. So it just, maybe for Maharashtrians, it just stays with you. And it's very easy to register in your brain forever.
Yeah.
It's easy.
So also talking about languages, talking about your YouTube channel now or blogging channel now. So majorly what I've observed, like I've done a short analysis, don't call it like going into a channel and then,
Super
analysis.
analysis.
Yeah, not that. But yeah, major of
Mhm.
your vlogs are based on food, but also some travel vlogs. And actually, as a vlogger, it's really good. I mean, you're doing a really good job because the community you have, the engagement you get, and like जे प्रेम भेटतंय तुला, आता रिजनल आहे त्यामुळे मी थोडं मराठी बोलतो.
Thank you.
हा, तर ते खूप इमेन्स आहे. आय मीन ऑनेस्टली.
Thank you.
तर त्याच्यासोबतच मला एक
Hmm.
विचारायचं आहे की इम्पॉर्टन्स काय वाटतं तुला रिजनल कंटेंट, बिकॉज यू डुईंग मराठी फिल्म्स, दॅट्स राईट. इवन लाईक वी आर डुईंग दिस पॉडकास्ट, दॅट्स इंग्लिश. बट ऑनेस्टली आता आपण जर भाडीपा चॅनलची बात केली, तुला माहिती असेल. So like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they are doing a really good job.
Saras,
And if I won't mention any Hindi channels or what, but honestly they're running out of content and it's really
Mhm.
boring, or it's just typical and going in. But अगर मराठी content ची बात करूया आपण, तर it's actually working good, even if it's just focusing on Maharashtra, but they are actually gaining good engagement and good response from people. Otherwise, like some mainstream people are getting kind of criticism. It's not a bad thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to know what is the importance of regional content.
Importance of regional content is, of course, content is like strengthening your own culture and your own region and making sure in your whole power you reach everybody across the world. There's so many people who would know Bhadipa. There will be so many people, so many non-Maharashtrians who would know me just because of that one channel, because they are foodies. And also, the advantage is that Ameya, you don't know the strength of like the regional content. Honestly, if I was a content maker in Hindi or English, I would have just been there. But because I'm Maharashtrian and because I make Marathi content, I have drawn people across the globe to watch something Marathi, or any Marathi channel does that, not just mine. But it's like it's too powerful. Our community is too powerful, and they really consume the regional content. Like Maharashtrians all across the world love to go and check out Marathi channels, Marathi blogs, and especially if you're somebody who is putting that relatable content or content that is going to make them miss home even more, and experience get those experiences sitting in whichever country you are sitting in. It is something that they really love and totally follow. So it's very important to really promote this, because if I have to talk about myself, I did have an option of doing it in Hindi or English, right? But I know our community is way too strong, and it's only special when you do something for them. So I chose Marathi. And we're going places, man.
And yeah, I mean, I've been following you on your channel, but as you're talking about regional content, what I think is like, even if you're being from Pune, so just even focusing on Pune content, all over the people from Maharashtra are gonna relate it to some point and would be even more happy to know about Pune, or like food, about talking about their food, culture, anything we talk about. But like if you try to go mainstream, even if I'm conducting this podcast in English, but I actually want to know about regional content. So if I just go English, people might be coming from different cultures, but at some point they might be like, they won't agree over me. I don't know why. What do you think about it?
Why do you get that feeling? Why wouldn't they agree with you?
I mean, at first point, like relatability is the main thing for making content. But then second point would be like, there's, I don't know why we eventually die when we focus on like mainstream English
Oh, okay,
content.
like that. If you're saying like that, if you're saying yes, see, there are pros and cons. So, as much as I would say that our community is so strong and all of that, they're also very critical. Okay, so you have to be ready to face both.
Yeah.
I do still, because probably not all the subscribers. I can only talk about myself because I don't know what kind of feedback others get. But I would really, it took time for me to really convince that I am a Marathi girl, in the sense like I'm really in love with my culture and all of that. Because initially I would get comments like, उगाचच इंग्लिश झाडतीये, कशाला फेक ऍक्सेंट मारतीये, इंग्लिश तुटका फुटका आहे, and all of that. I was like, dude, no. I mean, I know that a lot of Maharashtrians do try to, maybe to just in order to come across relatable or something. I have seen a lot of Marathi people unnecessarily speaking English in wrong situations. So the world or the other communities have this idea that Maharashtrians just deliberately struggle to speak English, but they want to speak English. And that kind of backfires to me. But it's not like that. Actually, see, it is the need of the hour. I mean, if there's a situation where you can't talk in Marathi, then you have to speak in other languages. But that is a negative part of our community. They will be super critical if you speak something which is not favoring them or the locality that they are from and all. They'll get all violent on comments, and they will be sending you all sorts of rubbish. And then make sure that, they'll make sure that they have some more people coming back to those comments and supporting them and all of that. So that does happen.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's fine.
So like you started the channel like back 2 years back then?
Yeah. I mean, it was very accidental. It was super accidental, and a great blessing in disguise. I just realized that I enjoy being behind the camera more than I love being on camera. I think I should have pursued direction quite earlier, and I am working towards working behind the camera now. Okay. That's my calling.
That's interesting.
And that I realized after I started my channel.
Okay. I mean, that's a good point. Even like 2020 is bringing a blessing in disguise, as you said. So the other point, content creator च्या बद्दल आपण जर बोललो तर after 2020, in these 2 years, I guess they've like gained a different kind of throne or a seat, because they are actually doing great point. Like just a year back then, now they are actually doing good ads with people like on Dream 11 or something we talk about. But content creators have actually gained a good not only talking about money but fame and all stuff. They are actually doing it with great level. So
No, Ameya, in fact, great level se bhi zyada. There are, I would say, YouTubers have got a better or a bigger fan following than most of the actors that I know.
Yeah.
And I think it all comes from the part of being relatable, where people like watching personal spaces. They like to know, personal details are much more exciting than something fictional. So people like that, and eventually if you are somebody who is fun, whom they can relate to, whom they enjoy watching, then they love you. Then they'll never leave your hand. And audiences like that are very loyal. Like they will seriously, if you're an actor, they know that you're acting and you might do one project which is good, so they'll love you for that time period. And maybe you're not doing work for a while, you will not be relevant. So to stay relevant, YouTubers stay relevant, content creators stay relevant, because they're on your face all the time. And as I said, also there are a lot of positives and negatives, because when you're an actor, you're getting paid to do your job, right? And the responsibility is maybe on the director and the producer. When you're a content creator, if at any point something is crashing and your views are going down, your audiences are not liking you, that's a big hit. That's like an emotional ache. It's a heartache, heart pain. So I think it's a tough job. Exactly. It is.
But like content creators have that kind of advantage over them, because they are actually as a person. So if you have a YouTube channel now, so people are able to know Tanvi as a person. But like if you act on movies and all, then it's a character. So that is the
and if
point.
I'm not doing films, they'll not remember me after 6 months. And that's not in my hand to bag projects. It's in my hand to create content, but I can never bag projects all the time. So
but it's a revolution kind of, like people are just like, aaj ek collaboration ho raha hai, kal koi aur collaboration ho raha hai, and then again new stuff is happening. It's kind of revolution, I guess. Instagram is doing a certain kind of reels.
Now the major shift that we are talking about that happened in the lockdown for the creators is that earlier TV was relevant. Now everything is on OTT. So there are very less people who are watching television, cable connections and dish TV and all of that is like kind of passe now. So everybody is now consuming OTT. Now, when you talk about OTT, people are now consuming a lot of YouTube. Now, this hiked during the lockdown because people were at home and they would not. You'll be done watching films and series. What next? YouTube. Now, what started happening was that people started consuming that so much, and TV started dying in a way. So the brands have now put their marketing budgets, which is like crores of rupees, into, the reels, into YouTube, into all the other platforms. There are songs that are now singles, the pop singers or like all these singers who launch their new songs. They would want people to be paid and made reels, like, reel stars and all these people. They will make reels on that. And then, it reaches lakhs of people in no time and crores of people. And people know that song. And you, within a matter of few minutes, everybody is like dancing to that tune because there's some challenge in all of that. And it only makes sense now. I mean, why do you want to make an ad film? And, ad films are still there. It's got its own glory. But if you have to reach audiences, then this is the best medium. And that is which is why now so many brands have got pumped so much money here.
And even those content creators became a sensation. It's an overnight thing for content creators.
Yeah.
Then again, it's a journey to carry forward, or what, it depends. And one more thing is
totally.
So after the post-COVID that happened thing was, I would like to know, as you being an actor, what do you think about these acting careers? Because it's been a total shift. Now movies are going to release in OTT platforms now, and some, even if you talk about recent movies, they were actually overhyped at first, but now after the releases, they aren't actually doing good at box office. So I wanted to know, what are these struggles with actors, or what is this thing actually?
So Ameya, it's a huge struggle any which way. To be very honest with you, it's not easy to be an actor. It's a lot of you're at one point, you're there, maybe you don't know what is going to happen next. People who are supremely dedicated, who are really taking their job extremely seriously and probably caring less about the money part of it, are still sustaining and doing work because they are so honest to their work and their craft that they are every minute polishing their skills and keep making sure that they are physically appearing nice and all of that, because vanity is a part of this industry. But what happened in people who had thought of giving it a try, kind of a thing, ki dekhte hain, I want to become an actor, those people also mentally kind of lost the plot in the lockdown. And people who had not made it in any way have given up the option of now pursuing acting. And a lot of people around me I have seen who are now what? No, we are opting for something else because it's, as you said, it's changed a lot. For myself, I can talk that my film released on the 13th of March 2020. It was a Pune premiere of my film Vijayta, where I'm playing a boxer. It's a film by Subhash Ghai, Mukta Arts, directed by Amol Sherge. Now, what happens is, my film really has the premiere on 12th of March in Mumbai, 13th of March in Pune. And while I'm on my way to the premiere, I get a call from my co-star saying that, the theaters are shutting down. Ooh. And I was like, what? Wait, 6 months we worked on this film. And it's in the theaters right now. Ek show bhi nahi run hua hai for the audiences. And you're saying it's shutting down? Yeah, I thought it was a joke. I reached the theater and it was actually shutting down. Big disappointment as an actor. And for the whole team also, it was a big disappointment. Now the lockdown phase starts. Now the lockdown phase starts where there are no movies releasing. Everybody, 6 months pass, 7 months pass, and everybody's just hoping that now the theaters will open. Meanwhile, people have started consuming YouTube and OTT. Meanwhile, people have started appreciating the content. Meanwhile, people who never probably considered OTT for family viewing and all of that are now watching it.
Yes.
Meanwhile, a lot of films that were already ready for release but now are not releasing are released on OTT. So people become complacent. They are like, okay, except for people who really want the theater experience, now they're good with watching films at their homes. And that is something that you said you're noticing right now, that the box office is kind of not like doing really well for a lot of films. Also because mentally, as humans, we went through a lot of back and forth with this whole thing, with the whole environment and the feel of things, malls, theaters, shooting locations, and all of that. It's so much back and forth, so much back and forth, that over time now we have changed our whole perspective. People who are not from the entertainment industry, who are from the other sectors, have now changed their perspective towards entertainment, because it's just human tendency. You do something for 6 months or 1 year, you get used to it.
Yeah.
And you start believing in it, you start liking it, and then you don't want to switch back to something else because you're comfortable now with this. We as actors, as filmmakers, we suffer, but it's only good to now, get some, acceptance is the key to happiness. So I think it should be accepted now, and maybe slowly, if we keep persistent with releasing films and all of that, maybe 2 years down the line we'll have a similar scene what we had before the lockdown. But a lot of people started their YouTube channels during the lockdown. A lot of my actor friends started the YouTube channels, and they are doing like really well, because as actors, you want to be on camera. You like to be on camera. You miss camera. You miss, putting yourself out there, putting the entertainment out there, putting your skills out there. You always miss that. And then YouTube, is like a great option to satisfy your, creative juices.
I mean, it's, I guess it's pretty justified by yourself. I mean, I'm actually satisfied with the answer also. But yeah, actually, thanks to you. Firstly, this is what all I wanted on this podcast today, knowing your journey and also about acting, the things which aren't actually disclosed, and, knowing on this podcast, that makes the podcast fascinating as well. So also, the last part that is remaining is, let's move to the rapid fire round. That's the specialty of Daily Trigger.
Oh, yeah. But I just want to first give out a message for anybody who is probably watching this and is going to start a YouTube channel or anything related to, because we spoke about this. Now, I started this purely out of, I just want to try it out kind of a thing. And then it started happening for me where people, when I got like for one of my initial videos, like 2 lakh views, 3 lakh views. And then I thought that, I can make this as a source of income. And that's how I stayed persistent with it. But anybody who is venturing into this, make sure you're like really true to your audiences. Make sure, if you really want to consider this for a long time, make sure you are consistent, because algorithm is not a joke. I am telling you, it's a big disappointment when people are like, "Arey yaar, pehle views aa rahe the, abhi kya hua?" But algorithm is a real thing, and if you really take it seriously, this is an amazing career. You're your own boss. You can definitely try out different things. You can always tweak things. It's a very hard-working industry. It is not as fancy as it looks. You have to be on your toes. There are no specific working hours because your head is working 24 hours. So be ready for that and give in your 100%, and you will make it.
Exactly. So that's the well point for the audience. And for also plus things, I'll be also mentioning Tanvi's channel in the description of the podcast, also in the YouTube video. So so people can make notes and take notes, or also even contact Tanvi if they want. So yeah,
Yeah, and follow and subscribe.
yeah, subscribe. That's for sure. I mean, even
Shameless plug.
even now I've started my Daily Trigger YouTube channel. Before we used to stream on Spotify only, but now it's
Uh-huh.
a very needed step to take, because video podcasts
Yeah,
make you actually get engaged with people. So that is the
true.
point. So even like if possible, shout out to Daily Trigger also. I'm just giving it to myself. So yeah,
Yeah, I will in my next vlog, which will
surely
be
I will
going
come.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess now we are good to go with the rapid fire round.
Yes.
So questions coming on. You can just do it in one word, like okay. I hope you are ready first.
Should I sip some water?
Okay, okay, yeah, sure.
Hmm.
Okay, we are good to go. Yeah. So
Good.
okay. Coming with the first question, what's the one thing you couldn't live without?
My parents, my family.
And one thing you could live without?
Like rest of the world.
Okay. And what's something new you've learned in the past week?
Past week,
Past week, yeah.
some editing skills.
Okay. So if your life was being directed, what would have been it titled as?
On the go.
Okay. If you were a superhero, what power you'd have?
To make people love animals.
Okay.
Everyone should love animals.
And then what would be your kryptonite?
Sorry?
What would be your kryptonite, like weakness as a superhero now?
Animals being tortured or any
Exactly.
cruelty.
Exactly. Yeah. So a song that resonates you.
Um, for the weekend,
Okay.
Coldplay.
Okay. Yeah. I like that song also. Uh, favorite,
I love it. It's my go-to.
yeah. Favorite TV show growing up.
TV show growing up. Ah, it was only the shows that my mom used to watch.
Mhm.
So, but I remember Jeena Isi Ka Naam Hai it was a show we used to look forward
Okay. And a guilty
to.
pleasure
It was
from
a
your
talk
music
show.
library.
Huh?
A guilty pleasure from your music library.
Um, Music library, man. You know what? Our playlist is so weird, so weird. Uh, but right now it's like Pasuri.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So person you'd love to grab a drink with.
Um, oh, that's interesting. Oh my God, there's so many. I want to like talk and ask so many things. But maybe Mr. Modi.
Okay. Interesting. Which is the sexiest accent in your opinion?
Actually, French.
Okay, French. I was gonna think about it.
It's very
Might be,
sweet.
yeah, people might be saying Italian, French, or Spanish. It might be the case.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. The next question is
French.
current trend that you'd hope would disappear soon.
Like in the reels, like I mean that part or any normal trend,
I mean, any
like
normal trend,
clothing trend or
like any general trend you might be thinking, anything you can.
okay, okay, general trend, general trend. Mm, mm. I think the overly uncomfortable girl clothing, which is like super tight and you don't know if the body can breathe or you can sit or you can like walk,
Mhm.
kind of clothes. Yeah.
Okay. And also, like, if talk about reels.
Um, okay, so I have watched so many roast videos on that Kacha Badam step where
Mhm.
everybody's showing their booty off and people find it's like so weird after a point that yes, any reel, I think, any music, it gets like irritating after a point. So yeah, like Kacha Badam, I think, yeah.
Actually, it's kind of getting like really annoying now.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I want to like skip, like I don't even want to see anyone smile. I just want like, aage chalo, aage chalo.
Okay. So last question. Best advice you'd give to your teenage self?
Oh, please learn how to operate the camera and become a DOP.
Okay. And then again, you're learning also some editing skills you talked about.
Yeah, and also I want to learn the camera because I want to be behind the camera and I would like to be the director of photography at some point.
That's great. Okay. So yeah, this was the rapid fire for now for the episode. I hope you enjoyed it.
I loved it. I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah. So also wrapping for the today's episode. Then we firstly thank you for coming to the episode, spending your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Amir.
It was really fun. So yeah,
It was.
like a closing note you'd like to add for the audience, anything?
Closing note that I would like to add is that guys, life is like really unpredictable. I don't think I should be elaborating this because we just went through crisis in the past 2 years and a lot of people lost their loved ones, and it was a bad patch that everybody had to go through.
Yeah.
But from now on, please focus on yourself. Please try to take care of yourself and try to spend as much time as you can with your family and your close ones, because seriously, it is irreplaceable. And try to just be your own self also at the same time. And to all the little girls who might be watching, or maybe who are growing up and watching the podcast,
Yeah.
please just believe in your individuality. You are an individual, and try and be strong, opinionated. It really helps.
Okay. That's a great closing note. So yeah, finally we are done with the episode. And yeah, so Tanvi Kishore and Ameya checking out for today's episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.